Need an assist on finding a new vehicle? Head to Bob Moore Ford because we're dishing out deals on our entire inventory, like the 2013 F-150 or F-250. Pick yours, then roll out. Visit BobMooreFordOKC.com for a chance to win our monthly prize.
Durant, pull-up jumper, off the rim, and and the Thunder win! Come on, let's sing the Thunder song. When you hear the sound of thunder, don't you get too scared. Just grab your Thunder buddy and say these magic words.
Hello and welcome back to another edition of Thunder Buddies podcast presented by Bob Moore Ford. A special edition, the edition where I prove once and for all I am a better GM than Darnell Mayberry.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Darnell, this is going to be bad for you today.
We'll see. Bring it. I'm ready.
Well, that will come a little bit later in the program, but first let's talk, the team we're paid to talk about, the Thunder.
Yep.
I mean, last week at this, when we were talking on the podcast, we were talking, they got this 5-game stretch coming up with 4 big teams. Can they go 3-2? They're probably going to go 2-3. Well, they're 3-0, 3 games into it. It's all about Kevin Durant, obviously. What have you seen? How have they turned it around?
Kevin Durant. The Rockets, they benefited from the Rockets having a historic bad second half after a great first half.
But let me stop you there.
Yeah.
I think they match up really well against the Rockets. I think they would love to see the Rockets in the first round. Do you think almost of all the semi-contenders, I think that's the team they probably match up.
First round, though, I don't think they're going to see them in the first
round.
They could. That's more of a second round matchup.
Maybe.
I don't think the Rockets are slipping the 7 or 8 or even 6.
Well, let's say somehow the Thunder are below, Spurs and Blazers. It could be a 3-6.
It could be a 3-6. It could be.
All I'm saying is the Thunder want to see the Rockets somewhere in the first couple rounds.
Yeah.
And the Rockets don't want to
you're right. Dwight Howard, you got a counter for that with Kendrick Perkins. And apparently your guy, Steven Adams, he played him fairly well in Houston Thursday night.
Not a surprise.
Yeah, clearly. And then you got Thabo Cephalosha for James Harden. You got if Russell Westbrook's healthy, we still haven't even seen Russell Westbrook against these guys. Even last year, we saw it for 2 games and they blew him out the first time. And then we haven't seen it since.
Yeah, they're 4-2 without Westbrook against this team, including 2-0 this year.
Yeah,
1 in Houston. I really like the Thunder in that matchup.
Right. So back to the week. They didn't really do much special, I think, against the Rockets.
Second half was pretty special.
What was special was they stuck with it. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong in that first half. The Rockets making 12 3-pointers, the Thunder not making any, and they just stuck with it. You saw their resiliency, and I like the fact that they were just determined to get back in that game. They clawed back. They did play better defense. They did some things well in the second half, but the Rockets missed a lot of the same shots that they were making in the first half. So they just couldn't make a shot. And you can't forget, the Rockets had played the night before, so maybe the tired legs caught up with them.
Yeah.
Just telling it like it is. You can't ignore the facts.
Yeah. The Warriors game is probably their best win out of the 3.
I disagree.
Yeah. Don't say the Kings. I know you're going to say the Kings.
The Kings win was the best win out of the 3.
They might have played their best, but, I don't know.
The Warriors was the most entertaining. No doubt about it. Kevin Durant scoring 54, season-high points allowed, season-high points scored by the Thunder. But that's not how the Thunder wants to play. If you're talking about a championship-level team, you're talking about needing consistency, needing a certain level of play, a certain level of performance. They're not trying to give up 121 points on their home floor anywhere.
It was the Warriors.
Not even, let alone on their home floor. I don't care if it's – I don't care
the
if
Kings
it's Doug Moe's Nuggets. You can't give up 121 points as a championship caliber team. That's unacceptable. And I think the Kings came in as a high scoring team.
Yeah.
And they limited them to what was it? 93 points. Outscored them. They ended up winning by 15. They held DeMarcus Cousins in check. They held Rudy Gay. They shut Rudy Gay down. Mm-hmm. Isaiah Thomas was the only guy that went off on them. And they got out of there with a really good win. The offense was still there, and the defense remained consistent. So, and Kevin Durant didn't have to score a bunch. That was huge. He didn't have to score 54 points for them to win. He got the 30 points, the 9 assists. Everyone got involved. First time this year, 6 players were in double figures for the Thunder.
Where'd you get that stat?
Matt Tumbleson, PR guru for the Thunder. I can't give you the love. He gave it to me first.
Oh,
actually, I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry, John Reed, not Matt Tumbleson. John Reed gave. Shout out John Reed.
Shout out John Reed. Yeah. All right. Well, that's obviously either way you slice it. It's 3 good wins. They're kind of back on track, and it's a good time to get back on track just with what's coming up. Let's talk about that quick. You have the Blazers tomorrow, a team they're 0-2 this year, and then the Spurs on Wednesday. On a back-to-back in San Antonio, a team they are 2-0 against this year, but it's been with Westbrook both times. What are you looking at in these two?
1-1 will be great. 2-0 obviously is what you prefer. 1-0 or 1-1 will be 1-1 will be great. I think you gotta get this Blazers game. They've beat you twice now.
Twice.
The second time in embarrassing fashion, coming back from I think it was a 16-point deficit. Second half deficit. So
that was a collapse. That was the second of 2 collapses because I think the Nets
Brooklyn
game
Nets,
came right before that.
So you got to get these guys and you've shown that you can do it without Russell Westbrook. I mean, they didn't have Russ in that second game, so not having Russ shouldn't be an excuse when they play the Blazers. But the Spurs, I think that's going to be a really tough game.
Yeah. Although Westbrook really helps them in that matchup because that pushes in the Spurs matchup because they've torched San Antonio both times this year.
Yep.
With Westbrook obviously in the starting lineup because they don't really have anyone that can guard him. And then when we go, when they go backup on backup, Patty Mills guarding Reggie Jackson.
Yeah.
Reggie Jackson's gone off on the Spurs. But, I guess with Westbrook out, that kind of changes things. The Spurs are just like the Thunder in that a team's beat them twice. They don't, they're going to come out and they don't want to lose 3 times. So I agree with you. I think they'll be favored against Portland tomorrow night, and I think that's the one out of these 2 they need to get. And then Spurs is going to be tough, but we'll see.
I think we got to talk about Reggie Jackson.
Okay.
How concerned are you about Reggie Jackson?
Not because I think he's gonna slide back into a really comfortable that second man role, or second unit role, leading that second unit when Westbrook gets back. And me and you both think Westbrook will be back within 14 days.
February 3rd, Memphis Grizzlies at home, Chesapeake Energy Arena.
Okay, he's gonna be back, within a month at probably the latest. And we've seen Reggie Jackson in that secondary role. Obviously, you're a little concerned about what's going on right now, but how much of that has to do with starting lineup and putting pressure on himself and all that?
So basically what I hear from you is it's almost like the same thing we've been here. Once Russell Westbrook comes back, everything's fine.
For him, I just mean from a team standpoint, Reggie Jackson, I think there's some concerns of, especially for him personally in the future when I'm trying to get a contract and I think I can be a starter in this league. There's some obvious, can you carry a team? Can you run a team as a starting point guard? But from a Thunder perspective, when you just view him as the 6th man, he's been fine in that area in an extended stretch.
Which of the 3 concerns you most about Reggie Jackson? Not passing Kevin Durant the ball, taking wild shots and maybe calling his own number a little too much, or his inconsistent defense?
I think it's it's kind of a cop-out. I think it's a combination of 3, but I think I'd go with the offense because I think the offense leads his defense. I think he could be a pretty good defender, but we both know defending. Well, that was bad. Defending's about energy and being into the game. And I think what you mentioned, he's kind of had some bad shooting nights where he is taking wild shots, which is a concern, and he's kind of doesn't have the chemistry with Durant. I think that's kind of seeped over into his defense where he's frustrated. He's kind of out of it a little bit, and then he gets lost a little bit on a screen, and Isaiah Thomas is dropping 3 straight threes on him.
Yeah.
So I think I'm more concerned about the offense because I think he could be a good defender, or at least a league average defender if he just put his mind to it.
Yeah. He's kind of in an unfair spot because everyone's expecting him to be this super sub as a starter and bring that consistency that he was bringing as a super sub. In his offense, he struggled at times with his shot, but his shot has gotten better. His 3-point shot has gotten better, but he struggled with consistency.
He shoots it a little too much.
And he struggled with consistency, and he struggled with shot selection, I think. If he can get those 2 down, which is a lot, to ask, but if he can get those two down, I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But he does need to pass Kevin Durant the ball.
Especially when he's on, which is 95% of the time. So
Kevin Durant has been amazing.
Yeah.
Is he your MVP right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think he has to be. But, I mean, we're literally 41 games in the season right now with the Thunder. I mean, that is exactly the halfway point.
Yeah.
I've said it before. I mean, this time last year, he has a greater grasp on, especially nationwide on, he's the MVP favorite right now. But this time last year, there was a lot of people, this could be his year. He can get MVP. Then, I mean, if you remember, around this time, the Heat started their 27-game win streak where LeBron was like, every night he was like 11 of 13 or he was shooting a ridiculous percentage, and he just kind of grabbed it.
Right.
So there's still half the season left. We'll see. But right now, yeah, I mean, I think he almost has to be your MVP, especially with this scoring binge he's had lately.
Speaking of LeBron.
Yeah.
What'd you make of his comments? The jealousy comment about KD?
We talked about this, and I've seen a couple of people kind of take this viewpoint, and I agree with it. Well, number one, I just think it was kind of, an offhand comment. You know how that stuff works in the media. Somebody just asked him in a crowd, and he said something, and it kind of, got blown up a little bit. But I think it might have been he's a really intelligent guy, and I think he's kind of seeing all the talk about MVP this and that, and I think he just kind of threw it out there so people would be like, wait, let's see what he's talking about, and then go and maybe look at field goal percentage type deals and how much Durant is shooting towards how much LeBron's shooting. Right. Because Durant's not shooting too much. He probably should be shooting more, but LeBron is really, he's been super, super efficient this year. He's taking like the 30th most shots in the league and scoring the third most points.
I'm not a stat head, but so maybe you can help me out with this. LeBron is averaging right around 16 shots per game. Mm-hmm. Kevin Durant, without Russell Westbrook, was right at 18 a game. Is 2 shots that much of a difference when you're talking 16, 18?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, LeBron's shooting 60% this year. So
take efficiency out of. No, the field goal percentage out of it. I'm just talking shot attempts per game.
Well, look, LeBron's shooting 60% this year. So right now, Durant's taking 3 more shots. That you're giving. So if LeBron took that many shots, he'd be making at least 1.5 of them. So I mean, that's at least 3 points. So add 3 points to his average. Mm-hmm. And he's at 26 per game right now. He'd be up to about 29, which is right around, Durant's at 30. So, 1.5 shots. What's the difference between their points right now? I mean, it's about 4. So,
Kevin's shooting up.
Yeah, he is.
No, I like the way you broke that down. That's why I'm not a stat head. But the thing that I really kind of took exception to is LeBron made it seem like Kevin Durant's out there averaging 30 shots a game.
Yeah.
He used his largest.
There was really no reason for him to comment.
He used his biggest shooting nights of the season to illustrate his point.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a little unfair.
A little. And he didn't really need to say it, but like I said, you know how those things goes. He kind of probably just mentioned it a little bit offhand.
Yeah. Okay, what'd you think of what Durant said in response?
I think he was kind of right. I mean, when I read it, I was like, oh, that's interesting. But it did kind of blow up. Like he said, it was on like every news station. Like there were segments on it. And I guess when I initially saw it, I didn't think it was as serious as then it, how much attention it brought after that. Because I saw it like pretty much right away. I just read the article.
Well, here's the thing. An ESPN.com writer asked LeBron. Then an ESPN.com writer wrote about it. Then ESPN started flashing it on the scroll at the bottom and talking about it on SportsCenter, and so it was sort of an ESPN created story.
A lot of those.
And Kevin Durant thought it was blown out of proportion. I think ESPN was behind that monster.
Yeah, 24/7.
Yep.
Gotta talk about something.
Yep.
All right. Is that enough strictly Thunder for the day?
Anything else going on for Thunder we need to talk about?
There's plenty, but
Steven Adams, foul trouble, your boy. 3 straight games he's fouled out. Can he make it 4 against the Blazers on Tuesday night?
I think there's a good chance if he gets the minutes. He fouled out in 10 minutes, 11 minutes, and then last night got it up to 19 minutes before he fouled out.
He got 7 rebounds before he fouled out. He's a rebounding machine.
Well, as much as we're talking about his foul issues, he's been playing really good.
Yeah.
He gives them great minutes when he's on the floor. Can he stay on the floor? it's not an issue now because they got a lot of depth, and I mean they're not even playing Adams that many. But I mean, moving towards the future, we know he's going to be the starting center, and at some point in the next few years, I mean he's going to be. They're going to want to give him 25 to 30 minutes a night.
Yeah,
that's when you got to worry. I mean,
if
when
he can stay on the court that long.
Exactly. So it's something that he'll get better with in time, but I mean he needs to get better.
Yeah.
So
one more question I got for you.
All right.
More impressive Perkins play.
Okay.
Euro step or half court heave?
Oh man, that's a. How about the fast break he led with Fisher and Tabo yesterday? That led to a Tabo 3. I'll say a half court shot because I mean that thing was in and out.
Yeah.
I rewatched it today. I mean
he almost nailed it.
He should he got robbed honestly on it. So I'll take a half court shot. The Euro step.
You mean to tell me he didn't get the shooter's roll?
Did not get the shooter's roll. He did that perk pose for a little while.
Yeah.
Man, if he had hit it, I would have loved to see. The crowd reaction would have been even bigger than a mid-first spank one, and I would want to see what kind of pose he was going to hold there if that went down. Bench would have exploded. That would have been a great moment.
Yep.
The Euro step, it was.
You're a Euro step now. For those who don't know, you're a Euro step guy. That's your move out there on those Pupco courts.
It's a good move. Don't get Barry Trammell in here, but yeah, no, I like the Euro step. It's a very effective move. Perks was not that effective because it was pretty lumbering,
among other things.
And who did he truck over? He trucked somebody over on it.
I don't know.
Easy offensive foul call. I like seeing it, but I don't know how effective it was.
How come guys never pass out of the Euro step?
Because I mean you're committed to the move, and it usually gets you open. It's a good move.
It is a great move.
I should do a tutorial on it.
All right, here we go.
No more strict Thunder talk today. Let's move. Like I said at the beginning of the show, whatever we call this program podcast,
Thunder Buddies, presented by Bob Moore.
Yeah, Bob Moore Ford.
Bob Moore Ford.
Let's do the fantasy, or what are we calling this?
This is the inaugural "I'm a better GM than you" Thunder Buddies draft.
Okay, and how was this spurned?
All right, so I had this idea. It was born of my love for unheralded guys like Goran Dragic, Patty Mills, PJ Tucker, and the like, gritty guys that just get up in you, make your night tough. I love those guys. And then it evolved when Slater here started talking about his love for Steven Adams and Andre Robertson and Perry Jones III and all of that. And not just that, but started questioning and hating on me as a GM. It wasn't even about my love. As an armchair GM, and my love for Francisco Garcia and Daquan Cook and all of these guys. So now it's time to settle this once and for all with the inaugural "I'm a better GM than you" Thunder Buddies draft.
I'm for the rest of the show, I'm going to be referring to you as Matt Millen, the former Detroit Lions GM.
Okay,
because that's about where I rate your skills.
And who might you be, young Slater?
R.C. Buford would be probably.
R.C. Buford. Okay, we'll see.
Probably a solid comparison.
We'll see. Let's see.
All right. I mean, how you want to? Oh, all right. Give the rules.
There's a couple rules to this here thing. First off, none of the guys that we pick can be lottery picks. Okay, so we're not having a superstar, star-studded type of draft. These are guys that are under the radar, underpaid. Guys that may be underappreciated, just guys that people don't really know much about or are up-and-comers. What's the next rule? They can't make more than $5 million.
Yeah, that's a big rule.
$5 million or less. That's the biggest one. So that wipes out basically all your superstars, all your stars. So
there's a few on rookie contracts. So.
Yeah, but those guys are generally lottery picks. I mean,
yeah.
You're making $5 million on a rookie deal, you're a lottery pick. So that's all the rules.
Can't be best player on your team.
Yeah, we floated that out there. You can't be the best player on your team.
And that's the kind of a debatable.
It's debatable.
Topic, and there will be some debate. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, all right then.
And before we started, we did a coin flip. I picked tails. I was wrong. Slater got the first pick. We're going to pick 9 guys. That's a rotation. That's generally an NBA rotation. 9-man rotation. Slater's going to go first. With the first pick in the inaugural "I'm a better GM than you" Thunder Buddies draft, Team Slater selects
Kawhi Leonard.
You can't even get his name right.
That's how I say it.
That's not how he says it.
Say it.
Kawhi.
Kawhi.
I should revoke your number one pick.
That's false.
Just because you can't say his name.
All right, Frank Lawrence.
You're going to bring up Frank Lawrence. Okay.
I could bring up about 8 different ones that you screwed up.
All right. Touche.
I will take Kawhi.
Slater takes Kawhi, who I've never heard of, Leonard, with his first pick. I like that first pick. Very good first pick.
Okay, let's hear yours.
I'm going to go Eric Bledsoe.
That's it. I mean, I had him down here. It's a good pick. I don't know. But the problem is when we're throwing these teams on the court, your point guard's currently on the shelf.
Listen, injuries don't factor into this right now.
He's having a good year. The debate with him is he the best player on his team?
That's the debate, and I was a little worried about that. You got Goran Dragic, who really is the only other guy that you could say.
He's probably having a better year than Bledsoe. Dragic's really
Dragic's having a great year. He might be most improved player this year.
Yeah.
But it's debatable whether he's better than Bledsoe.
I'd say Bledsoe's like the best, prospect or whatever you want to call it. Like if you're starting a franchise, you probably take him. But I think this year Dragic's played best. I'll give you Eric Bledsoe.
You're that confident, RC? RC, are you that confident?
Well, when you got Matt Millen kind of across from you, then
let's go. I think we're pretty even so far.
All right. Well, I got a point guard that I think is better than Eric Bledsoe.
With the second pick.
I might play him at the 2, but he can handle the ball. Lance Stevenson.
Lance Stevenson's a good selection.
And guess what? I'm being cap conscious too. I'm only giving him $900,000.
It's a very good selection. I had him on my draft board.
So I got a nice little combo guard and a small forward that can lock up. I got a really good defensive squad starting.
Okay. All right. So this is my second pick, the fourth pick in the inaugural I'm a Better GM Than You Thunder Buddies draft. I'm taking my good friend Chandler Parsons.
Yeah, that's who I was going to go with.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to go point guard.
Who you got?
Reggie Jackson.
Oh, you took him higher than I thought you would.
I think he's a good player.
Oh,
obviously,
man.
I mean, we don't need to. We already talked about Reggie Jackson. I'm giving him his own team. He doesn't have to deal with, Durant. He could take a ton of his shots. He's only 23. I got a really young, up-and-coming team right now. Reggie Jackson, Lance Stevenson, Kawhi Leonard.
Okay. All right. So I like that pick, but I got my point guard in Eric Bledsoe. I didn't need that pick.
Okay.
I'm going to go big.
Damn, I know who you're taking already.
No, you don't.
Okay.
I'm taking Nikola Vucevic from the Orlando Magic.
Take him, Maddie. Take him, Millen. Jeez.
What do you mean, Maddie?
I didn't even have him on the draft board.
Have you seen Vucevic's numbers this year?
Well, he is going to be going up against an absolute defensive buzzsaw in my team and led by my fourth pick, Larry Sanders.
I had Vucevic over Larry Sanders. More versatile.
That's why you're going to get fired within a couple of years.
It's not even a debate. Sanders is not the all-around player that Vucevic is.
Man, I got
better defender,
I got a team.
Not as good offensively.
Okay, go ahead. Were you stalling over there?
You got Larry Sanders. Okay, let's see here. Who am I going to go with my fourth pick? I think I'm going to take...
Hurry up.
I got Tony Allen.
He's making $5 million this year.
$5 million or less. He fits the rules.
I thought it was less than $5 million.
I said at the top, $5 million or less.
Oh, jeez, he's making up rules now.
$5 million or less. I said it. Rewind if you want. I said $5 million or less.
All right, I'll give him to you. Just like I'll give you Nikola Vucevic, I'll give you this guy.
Somebody. Okay. All right. Well,
because I'll probably
Tony Allen locking up Lance Stevenson all day long.
Kenneth Faried.
You took my pick.
Kenneth Faried, and this rounds out my incredible starting five of Reggie Jackson, Lance Stevenson, Kawhi Leonard, Kenneth Faried, and Larry Sanders. That's a good starting five. That's a defensive-minded starting five that can score the ball too.
Too bad your guys can't shoot.
They can shoot.
They can't shoot.
Leonard's going to be in the corner dropping it.
Leonard's the only guy on your starting lineup that can shoot.
Says the guy who just drafted Tony Allen into his starting lineup.
He's going to lock up Lance Stevenson.
Who's the rest of your squad? Yeah, Vucevic is lighting it up.
Post scoring. Who you got on your team that can score in the post? Sanders going to block shots. Kenneth Faried is going to rebound, get putbacks.
I don't want to post up. It's an inefficient shot. I'm a GM of my team. I'm hiring, an up and down coach, and we're going up and down. And we're locking you up on the defensive end. Go ahead.
All right, I got the 5th pick. My 5th pick, round out my starting lineup. I could go a number of different ways with this. I got to be careful here. I got to be real careful.
Come on.
Man.
You're wasting time.
I am. This is a tough pick. This is a really tough pick. But you know what? I'm going to go with my man Mo Harkless.
Go ahead.
I'm going to go with my man Mo Harkless.
Okay.
He's going to round out my starting 5. Match up with Kawhi Leonard.
All right. You said I didn't have shooters, right?
You got one in your bag? Let's see it.
Yeah, I got a 6-man, Isaiah Thomas.
I like that.
Maybe an all-star this year.
Very good selection.
So he's coming off the bench and he's lighting you up. I'm having some offensive issues, like you said. My guys aren't hitting shots. I'll just bring him in. He's a microwave scorer. He's going to drop 20 on you within 12 minutes, then come back to the bench, and we'll say, oh, we're up 20 now? Go lock him up, and then I throw the starters back in.
You know why he's not going to come off the bench and light my team up? Because my 6th pick, my 6th man, Avery Bradley, Boston Celtics, baby.
Oh, jeez,
he's locking up Isaiah Thomas all day.
Smells.
Everybody you got on your team right now, I got an answer for. We're locking you up, Slater. We're locking you up.
Get out of here. No, your team's nothing. All right, I'm gonna go with the young guy, especially because I'm a forward-thinking GM. I'm looking towards the future as well as the present. The Greek Freak, Giannis. I don't know how to say his last name.
Yeah, and you also don't know where he was drafted. Apparently,
15th overall.
No, he wasn't.
15th.
He just made the cut.
Overall. Yes.
I ain't worried about him. I just didn't want you to have him.
Is Matt Million not doing his research?
I just didn't want you to have him. I can't even. Okay, Giannis. I can't spell his last name. Can you say his last name?
Antetokounmpo or something.
Jeez.
Something like that. All right, go ahead. You have 3 more players to pick.
All right, with my 7th pick, I'm going Swaggy P, Nick Young.
I had him down here, but man, your team. This is gonna be I'd say if Vegas was setting the line, it's climbing on my side. I'd say I'm about -9, -10.
I got shooting, I got defense, and I got post play. I love my team.
All right, I'm gonna get an energy guy right here, Birdman Anderson.
Okay, Birdman. Nothing wrong with that. All right.
Look what he's done for the Heat.
My 8th pick. I can't believe he's lasted this long, but I'll take him, and this is why I'm a better GM than you. Jimmy Butler.
Yeah?
Yeah. Give it up.
It's a good pick.
Thank you.
You sure he's not? What's he making this year?
Like $2 million, if that.
Yeah. All right. Last pick. Man, I got some options here. I'll go
Jimmy Butler, $1.1 million.
There's some better guys on the board. There's some potential guys.
It's your last pick now. You better make it count.
Yeah, I know. I need to do a quick second of research to make sure he's making under $5 million. I'm going to take Nick Collison. He's going to do everything. What's he making this year?
Nick Collison. That's not a bad pick.
He's making a little bit under 5, I think. I mean, he's going to do it. Like I said, there were some other guys I could have chosen.
Yeah.
But I know what he's going to give me. He's going to come off the bench. He's going to give me great minutes every time out there. Him and Birdman as a backup power rotation. That's a good power rotation.
Nick Collison, huh? Okay.
We over there doing some last-minute research?
No,
Millen, this was draft day. You got to come prepared.
We got to get someone in here to judge this after my pick. Because
All right, well, get the pick on.
let's see here.
You're stalling again.
I got one more pick.
All right.
I got to go big, but the problem is I don't like the bigs that I got left.
I see a few I'd take.
I don't like the bigs I got left. So I'm going to go, man.
There's plenty of good bigs left. Man, Millen, you just don't do research. Make your pick so I can tell you who you should have taken.
I'm going to go DeJuan Blair, and we're going to kill you on the boards.
That's a mistake. I mean, you had Terrence Jones left. You had Draymond Green was an opportunity. You had a few guys.
I had Andrew Nicholson, but you don't apparently watch the Magic. You don't know how good these young guys
Tobias
are
Harris.
down there.
You didn't mention him.
You know, I had Andre Blatch. I was thinking about Reggie Evans, but you know, I like DeJuan Blair. He could give you 20 and 20 some
He's
nights.
gonna get killed by Collison and Birdman.
Not happening. Have you seen DeJuan Blair play against the Thunder? He kills the Thunder. Kills the Thunder. Anyway,
get going.
That's the inaugural I'm a better GM than you Thunder Buddies draft. And to judge this here inaugural I'm a better GM than you Thunder Buddies draft, we're bringing in celebrity guest Dave Morris of newsok.com.
It's a celebrity guest, but I was the only one they could find today.
Avid NBA
Wondering
fan.
This is true.
Dave, how you doing? Welcome on the Thunder Buddies podcast.
I am honored to be here, fellas. Thank you.
All right, so we explained to you what we were doing beforehand. We got our team selected. Slater had the first pick. He went with Kawhi Leonard. I had the second pick. I went with Eric Bledsoe.
Can't go wrong with either one of those guys.
Very good first picks.
No,
Slater.
We don't need to tell them about the draft. Let's just go.
No, I'm just saying that was our first picks. Tell them your team.
Okay. Point guard, starting point guard Reggie Jackson. Why don't we just go position for position? I'm starting Reggie Jackson.
Frankly, I'm going to be shocked if Steven Adams is not on his team.
Oh well, we had criteria.
Yeah.
Okay, let me explain the criteria to you first. This is very important, so you know what you're judging. Player had to make $5 million or less, couldn't be a lottery pick, and couldn't be considered the best player on his team.
Okay,
so
that's good criteria.
Steven Adams being the 12th overall pick,
right?
It probably would have been Slater's first overall pick.
Overall, yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
There's zero doubt about that.
There we go.
Hey, let's just compare point guard, shooting guard. So I'm starting Reggie Jackson at point guard. Who's your starting point guard?
My starting point guard is Eric Bledsoe.
Got to go Bledsoe there.
Yeah, no doubt about that. But I mean, he took Bledsoe first. I got Reggie Jackson like third, fourth.
Okay, fair enough. And nothing wrong with Reggie Jackson. He's playing very well this season. But Eric Bledsoe, come on.
Yeah.
Thank you. Check.
At the two guard, I got an up and comer. He's got a kind of guy that's aging. I got Lance Stevenson, who is having a fantastic year. He's about to get a big payday in free agency.
This is true.
I got Tony Allen, who's going to lock up Lance Stevenson.
Lance Stevenson is a great defender and a great offensive player. Tony Allen is a minus on offense.
Boy, I don't know. Let's keep going. I may have to come back to that one.
All right. Okay.
Because my initial thought is Tony Allen, but I don't know. I've seen some games of Tony's, and I'm like, what's he doing
Lance Stevenson's
out there?
been great lately.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay. Kawhi Leonard at the 3.
I got Chandler Parsons.
I'm going to go with Leonard on this one.
Good
So
pick,
we're
good
1-1
1-1.
with one hanging out there in the bullpen.
pick. Kenneth Faried at the 4.
I got versatility at the 4. Okay, so you see my fourth pick, or the guy that I chose was Mo Harkless. But I could play small with Harkless, or I could put my 9th pick in there, DeJuan Blair.
Who's also small.
Yeah,
He's
Blair's
small, but he's
definitely small.
But he's more of a big man than Mo Harkless. So I mean, if you're gonna match up, if you're gonna start Faried, I'm probably gonna counter with DeJuan Blair.
Okay.
Are we just going 5 players here, or are
We
we
got
naming?
9-man rotation.
All right. I'm going to go with Faried on this one.
Okay, 2-1 Slater.
Larry Sanders at the 5.
But let me backtrack though. I'm going to go with Tony Allen on the previous pick. I thought we were doing a starting 5 here, but since we're doing 9, I'm going to go with Tony Allen. So we're 2-2.
He has not watched much Lance Stevenson this year. Lance Stevenson is flourishing.
I may need to watch more of him. But
And remember, as a GM, I mean, I'm also forward-looking. I'm getting younger guys. I'm getting a young core. This guy's, he's shelling out way too much money for vets.
I got Eric Bledsoe. I got Chandler Parsons. I got Nikola Vujacic, who you apparently haven't seen play.
Vujacic.
Well, let's see.
I got Avery Bradley. What don't you like about my young guys?
My starting center, Larry Sanders. His Vucevic. Larry Sanders, second in the NBA in block shots last year. Just saying. I mean, that's a fact.
That out there. We're talking centers now.
Yeah, that was.
Let me because Nikola Vucevic.
Can't even say his name.
It's pretty difficult. Vucevic, 13 points, 11 boards, 1.1 blocks.
Somebody's got to do something in the interior in Orlando.
You have a point there.
What's Larry Sanders doing in Milwaukee?
Larry Sanders is blocking shots. That not everyone, if you're on a bad team, doesn't mean you're going to block shots.
I'm going to go.
Somebody's got to score points.
I'm going with the double-double over here, though. That's pretty good.
Double. Hey, let me show you. Let's pull up Sanders' numbers. Let's pull up Larry Sanders' numbers.
Going to the numbers.
It's only going to take a second here.
My bench is so much better anyways.
That's not true. Now you're reaching. You started with your starting lineup. Now you're saying your bench.
What? My starting line is better, too.
Not true. Larry Sanders, a whopping 6.7 points, 6.7 rebounds.
It's called interior defense.
And
I don't need him to score.
1.8 blocks.
I don't need him to score. Plus, I mean, he was injured coming into the year.
He's had a down year. His career year last
injured.
year, 9.8 points, 9.5 rebounds. Nikola Vucevic, however you say his name, is still better than Larry Sanders.
They're empty numbers. Vucevic is empty numbers. I got an
Excuse
interior
me, Orlando
force.
has a better record than Milwaukee. Milwaukee's the worst team in the league this year.
Milwaukee's horrible.
Yeah, they're horrible. But
pretty sure they beat my Lakers.
But now I brought Sanders from a horrible team. Now he's got a lot better players around him.
Who's your sixth man?
Isaiah Thomas, who, if he stayed as the sixth man this year, which now he's a starter and he's fringe all-star, he's starting to get a little bit of all-star buzz. He would have been sixth man of the year if he stayed on the bench. So I don't see how he could possibly bring somebody better than that.
Avery Bradley. Isaiah Thomas is not going to score on Avery Bradley.
Isaiah Thomas is going to score on anyone. He's shown this year he will score on anyone. He had 38 last night on Tabo and Reggie Jackson.
I'm going with Isaiah Thomas. I think we're 3-3 here.
Okay.
All right.
Your seventh man.
I'll go the Greek Freak.
Say his name.
Milwaukee.
Do me a favor. Say his name.
Giannis.
What's his last name?
I'll spell it out for you.
Oh, you taking the
you
cop
say
out.
his last name.
I didn't pick him.
I don't want to. All right, go ahead. I don't need to say his last name. All I need to know is he has like a 9-foot wingspan and he's like 19 years old. This is a pick for the future and the present.
Okay, you got Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Okay.
Something like that. I got Mo Harkless.
Give me some numbers here.
Man.
It's not even as much about numbers with this one. I mean, Giannis looks like he's going to be a future star. Mo Harkless is not going to be a future star. Mo Harkless is a decent player.
If Jacques Vaughn would ever play him down there.
Look, I'm going to go to our friendly GM over here, Matt Millen. Who would you rather have, Giannis or Mo Harkless? To be honest, if you were starting a
Who would
franchise,
I pick? I picked Mo Harkless.
Who would you rather have, honestly?
Mo Harkless.
If you were starting a franchise tomorrow, you take Mo Harkless over the Greek Freak?
In a heartbeat.
That is why Matt Millen has earned his name.
Slater thinks he's the second coming of R.C. Buford over here. What's the numbers on Mo Harkless?
I actually don't think that.
I
I just think I'm a better GM than you.
What's the That's what we're trying to settle here. What are the numbers on Giannis and Mo Harkless? Basketball Reference me.
I'll look. Now let's go to the next one.
All right, I've got Mo Harkless right here, forward for the Magic. He's averaging 6.6 points, 3 boards, and 0.7 assists.
Okay, Greek Freak, and remember, he's 19 years old.
Mo Harkless is like 20.
How old's Mo Harkless?
Might be 21. Maybe.
Slowly pulling up this one.
Giannis is 7.1 points, 4.7 rebounds, and he blocks shots. He does it all.
I'm going Greek Freak. I mean, you can't go against that nickname, right? Is it politically correct though? Do we know?
People, he's accepted it.
Yeah, I think he's embraced it.
The Bucks have made a Twitter account called Greek Freak Alert when he comes in
awesome.
and they tweet from it. So I'd assume we can.
As opposed to like Harden's beard or Sam Presti's tie or whatever we have
exactly.
here. Scott Brooks' tie or whatever.
Yeah. So it's 4-3 me then.
I believe that's correct. With 2 to go, right?
Yep. Go. Who's your 8th guy? You go first on
It
this
was
one.
my 8th guy. Let's see who my 8th guy was. I got Swaggy P, Nick Young.
See, I mean, this is where the bench is going different because these guys don't necessarily wouldn't guard each other. But I mean, I got Birdman Anderson coming off the bench with some energy.
Ooh, those are both solid bench guys. I mean, Birdman, everywhere he goes, he's one of those dumb pickups that that you necessarily wouldn't want him playing against you, but if he's on your team, you want him playing. I got to go with Nick Young though.
Birdman's gonna come in and he's gonna shoot like 4 or 5 and get 10 boards. Swaggy P's gonna come in and he's gonna need 28 shots to get freaking 20 points.
Chris Anderson ever scored 50?
Chris Anderson has won what? 1 title? It's going to be probably 2, maybe 2 this year.
I think LeBron James had something to do with that.
I think of the 18 players we're selecting here, 17 of them wouldn't total the amount of tattoos that Chris Anderson